Howdy, my fellow Bart here, and welcome. A little bit of pre-stream fun for the evening. Going to start off with, I am going to start another project just to kind of help somebody with something and, you know, screw around with it. Something I kind of want to mess with on the side anyway. I've been thinking about it for a few days. Just as a side project, not as a main thing. But, see, I am running 420. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with my simple multiplayer Steam template, and I'm going to clone that. And for now, we're just going to call this Cowboy. So we'll get that clone started, and as soon as it pops up out here, I will go ahead and prep it to open. And what I mean by that, to prep it to open, whenever I do a clone of my simple multiplayer Steam template, okay, it's there now. Before I actually open the project up, I'm going to go into Windows Explorer, and let's go to the correct location. In this case, it's going to be My Documents, Unreal Projects. Go into it, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the saved folder. If there had been an intermediate folder, then I would have deleted that as well, but not important. Now, I'm also going to add in a few asset packs and a few things to this. And I'm going to go ahead and do it before I open it up. Now, some of the asset packs I'm going to use that came directly, and these are going to be Cinti Studios assets, came directly from the Cinti website. But this one here was in the marketplace, so I can go ahead and use that. So I'm going to go ahead and add that one to the project. Another one I'm going to add in is going to be the Frontier, and that one came from their store, and I'm going to add in the Pedestrians asset pack. If you have not seen this one, it is well worth checking out. So I'm going to go ahead and select add that to project. It is in the marketplace, and let's see if I can get to show here in the marketplace. Now, I bought it whenever it was on sale. Okay, first off, in a good way, I'm going to say that this is false. Well, it's true in a way, but it's kind of misleading. It says 150 plus animations. It's actually 216. When it was first released, it was 161, then it went to 168, and now it's 216. Yeah, I don't see the price now because I already own it, but yeah. If you want to add idle animations for your characters, and you're using the UE4 mannequin skeleton, which is what we're going to be using, just going to convert it over to work. But yeah, this is well worth getting. I don't know what the price is. I bought it when it was on sale, and well worth getting. So now that we've got all that and we're ready, we can go ahead and open the project. Now, since I'm using my simple multiplayer Steam template as the basis for this project, I made it as a clone from that. So we're just going to wait for this to load up. And while it's loading up, I'm going to go ahead and, again, if you purchase stuff from the marketplace, then you saw that's how easy it was to add it in. However, if you purchased it from the Cinti store, then you're going to get, let's find that's Polygon Town. That's War, Battle Royale, Western. Where is my Frontier pack? Western Frontier. Alright, so whenever you get it, you're going to get an unstract. You can extract the first RAR file. Inside there, you've got 3 zip files, or WinRAR files, or whatever. And you've got the source, you got the Unity, and you've also got the UE4 version, which is going to say Polygon Western Frontier 4_14_sub. So just right click, drag down, and extract to here if you've got WinRAR installed. Once you go into it, you got Western Frontier, go into that. You can actually create a project directly from that. But what I end up doing is I go to the content folder, and inside that content folder you're going to have 3 folders. The only one that we really need is the Polygon Western Frontier, and I'm just going to go back up to my project. I'm going to right click, drag it, and drop it into my content folder and copy here, and that's going to put it into my project. Now I have this all set up, ready to go. I'm going to actually go into, for testing purposes, I'm going to go into the map for the Western Frontier. Love this map. Of course, I love the one from the Western pack as well, but, you know, I'm going to open up this one. I'm going to show you how I set up the characters again using multiple asset packs. So let's let that map load up. And inside our meshes folder on both this and the Western, and we're going to make some changes. I've done this a dozen times in pretty much most of my videos using Cinti stuff. So go ahead and compost your shaders. You got this little fort over here, you got a fort, you know, kind of a villa over there, and you've got Indian camp over here, you got a fort over here, and you've got a mine over there. We can actually start out over here. There is no player starts, so the first thing I need to do is go to World Settings, change my game mode override to third-person game mode, and I'm going to go ahead and just drag a player start into here, and I can hit play. So we're using the UE4 mannequin, and we can start off inside here. We can walk around, check things out, but let's go ahead and start setting up our characters for the Cinti assets. And it wants me to do a lighting build for 1943 objects. That's not going to happen right now. However, I will do a save all, and I'll go ahead and create a test map. File, new level, VR basic, and I'm going to left click here, shift left click here, control left click on the pyramid, and hit the delete key. Get rid of those guys. Grab these 2 guys, control left click, and I'm not going to delete them, but I'm just going to stick them underground. And our player start, I'm just going to shove it over here in the corner. And again, world settings, third person game mode, and now we're all set up. I'll probably do after tonight, I'll probably do another video that's actually dedicated towards trying to use Mixamo animations with the Cinti assets, but for right now, there's enough UE4 mannequin animations out there where you don't really need to use the ones from that. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to my characters folder, and I'm going to go ahead and make a new folder called Mesh, and a new folder called Animations, and inside the Animations folder I'm going to make one called Unarmed, and I'm going to create another folder for Armed, and another new folder for Pedestrian, and yeah, that'll be good enough for that for now. But we have our mesh folder here. So what I want to do is I want to go to my mesh folder, and I'm going to start with the Frontiers, or Frontier pack, go to Characters, and I've got a skeleton here. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to left click and drag my mesh, my skeleton, to my mesh folder here, and copy. And go inside there, hit F2, and I'm going to rename this SK Polygon. Now, this is going to be my common skeleton between all of my assets. So now I'm going to go back into the Polygon Western Frontier Meshes Characters folder, and I'm going to left click on the first one, and then I'm going to shift left click on the last one, so that I have all of the skeletal meshes selected. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to Skeleton, Assign Skeleton, and I'm going to select SK Polygon. And I'm going to have to do this for each one of those characters, because now I'm assigning them to use this new skeleton that I renamed. It's the exact same skeleton they were already using, it's just in a different location with a different name. Reason that I'm doing that is because I'm going to combine this with the ones from the Polygon Western. So all of my characters will then be using the same skeleton. So all I have to do is create my skeletal animations one time, and it'll all work. Almost done. And the stream later this evening, and this is being done a little bit early. It's because some of the my European brothers and sisters won't be able to watch the other one because it's already 3 a.m. and beyond. We can just call this test map, and I need to make sure that I'm in my maps folder and save. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to the Polygon Western asset pack, meshes, and characters. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to left click, shift left click, and then since I got 3 over here, I'm going to hold down the control key and left click on them, and then right click on any of them. Skeleton and assign skeleton, same thing. SK Polygon skeleton, and there you go. Just going to have to do this again for the rest of them. So again, I can now use one set of animations to work with everything. Alright, save all. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my mesh folder, I'm going to go into my skeleton, and what I need to do is cuss loudly because I hate Unreal Engine 4 for not keeping my damn preferences. So I'm going to go into Editor Preferences and make sure that I select here main window, loading and saving, uncheck enable autosave, close, save all. It doesn't save anything. I've saved it to defaults. That didn't save anything, so bite me, I do it manually. So now when I open it up, hey look, it's full screen and attached up here. So I need to make sure that it's set to humanoid, which it is, and I'm going to go ahead and apply to asset. So now I actually have a skeletal mesh preview. As we can see, Cindy Studios characters are in a T-pose. That's bueno, that's good. That's what's supposed to happen. That's not what happens with Unreal Engine 4, the mannequin skeleton. So we're going to go to the UE4 mannequin skeleton, go to character, meshes, and go into that skeleton. We need to select here, select rig, select humanoid rig, and now, seen it 1,000 times, raise the upper arm up by 50, the lower arm lower down 10 and back 30. Grab the hand and raise it up 10. Again, it's upper arm up 50, lower arm back 30 and down 10. Hand up 10. We're going to select modify pose and use current pose. And then save, close, save all, save selected. Everything's lovely. And now we can go to our animations. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select it. I'm going to hit F2 and Control C to copy the name of it. Click off of it. Right click, retarget animations, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to inside, well, go ahead and click on my skeleton here. Inside replace, Control V. And I'm going to replace that with Polygon ABP. So I know that this is my standard animation blueprint for my Polygon characters. I'm going to hit the change button. I'm going to select my characters folder, animations, unarmed, and OK, and then retarget. Can hit save all, save selected, and the fireworks are starting. Lovely. So go to my blueprints, go to my player base, which is my player character, and yes, I know I'm a dork and I have the camera mounted directly to the head. which is not a problem. It works for the most part. I will change it as soon as I actually care enough to change it. But I'm going to go to Mesh, go to my skeletal mesh, and I'm going to pick any of my little dudes here that I want. A gold miner, could be bandit male, which that's what I'm going to keep. Go to my animation class and polygon animation blueprint. I'm going to hit compose and save. I'm going to click the arrow under viewport, turn off real time. I'm going to select my FPS camera, and because it matters to me, I'm going to rotate it back 90 degrees, rotate it 90 degrees, and then I'm going to go to my movement and undo snapping. So what I want to do here is I can actually start off with zeroing out those, but it won't matter because I'm going to raise it up, get it between the eyes, and then I'm going to drag it out so it's just directly in front and you don't see any of the character. Hit compile and save, and we can actually recheck that, and our character will be good to go. Now there is some height difference, and you may want to fix that, may not want to fix it, doesn't matter. It's not going to be a problem just yet, but we'll burn that bridge. I mean, we'll cross that bridge whenever we need to. So when I hit play, now I've got my character. Trouble is that I'm going to run into is a lot of the animations that you're going to find are going to use when you draw a pistol, it's drawing it from behind their back, and it's absolutely retarded. Back in the late 80s, yeah, a lot of people would carry what they call SOB, small of the back. I carry a firearm almost every day. And I don't think I've seen anybody carry small of the back in years. Many years. You see the position of the holster. So if I choose to go from unarmed to armed and draw my pistol, the problem is if I use the animation starter pack animation, it's going to draw from behind me. Now there were some animations that came with another asset system, or what was it called? It was the multiplayer shootout. And this multiplayer shootout was actually part of a tutorial system from Epic Games, that actually had your cowboy, and he could draw, comes with a cowboy hat. It's all kind of cool and stuff, but wasn't that good of a game. But it was a game, and it was multiplayer, and it worked. However, it did have a good animation for drawing. However, this is not the normal default UE4 mannequin, so it was not really a usable animation. So we're not worried about it. We'll make our own animation as we need to. So now that we have that, we can actually create all of our bots and everything based off of this character, and that's good to go. But we also have the pedestrian animation pack. Okay. There is a bunch. So I'm going to go into the demo characters, go into its mesh folder, and I need to do the exact same thing that I did before. Make sure it's selected as humanoid character. If I hit view pose, it's not going to show anything because it's a whole different UE4 mannequin. So I'm going to have to do the same thing. Upper arm up by 50, lower arm down by 10, back by 30, hand up by 10. So we got to do all this all over again for this one, because it is using another animation, another mannequin. Minor inconvenience, but no problem. Modify a pose, use current pose, save, and now if we go to our animations folder here, yeah, okay, I'm going to click on the very first one. I'm going to scroll down and get to the very bottom of the 216 animations. Shift left click, and then I'm going to right click. And this is going to take a minute because it's 216 animations in that one friggin' pack. And guess what? We go to add the animation starter pack. We got to do all this all over again. But no problem. Retarget animation assets and retarget. polygon skeleton, and I'm not going to replace anything this time, but I am going to go to change, and I'm going to go to my characters, animations, pedestrian, and OK, and retarget. It's going to take a minute because there's a bunch of them. But then we'll have all of these animations for our characters that we can pose them in the map. All right, it's done. So now all of these, I'm going to do a save all. And yeah, that's a lot of animations. I'm going to put a couple little things in here just for displaying the characters with the animations. I'll just grab a I'll grab a cylinder and just scale it up a little bit. I can grab like old boy here. He's leaning up against the wall. But yeah, these are great animations with this this animation pack from the marketplace. It's well worth the bucks for it. I paid, I think, 25 bucks for it because it was on sale. But even at 50 bucks, this is still a hell of a deal. A lot of good shit in here. So you actually have just this one right here, which is just the wall lean, where he's just leaning on it. But if you wanted to, you could set it up to where you have your start animation where you're starting to get into that, and then you've got the lean idle, and then I believe there's actually an end for it as well. There's yawn animation, wheelbarrow. So it's like you're carrying a wheelbarrow. Start, walk, and end. So if you want to attach the animations to that, so if you want to walk up to a wheelbarrow and actually use it, and then you have the animations there to be able to do that. And I'm going to go ahead and do this guy over here. So he's just kind of leaning over up against the wall that way. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff in here. Talking on the phone may not be very useful in this actual asset, or this project, or using a camera. Just gonna throw a couple of these animations. These are just the animations. I mean, you could throw them in here so you can preview them. So I've already shown how to do, I don't know if I showed how to do it, but in a project that I was doing before where actually you could change your emotes. So, yep, smoking a pipe and smoking a cigarette in here as well. Dude sneezing there. He's just kind of holding on to his pipe there on the end. But setting up those animations is not that hard. Set up idle, set up start. These are the two that I really want to look at because they're going to be a starter system for the first combat. You can slap somebody and then you got the reaction for it. You can slap somebody and challenge them to a duel. Now, one of the things that'll have to be done later on is set up the per bone blend so that you can actually do these attacks and stuff while you're moving. Otherwise, you're going to have to be at a complete stop to be able to slap somebody or to be able to do that reaction. Saluting, picking up something and carrying it on your shoulder, sit-ups. So many good animations in here. It's more like heckling than shouting. Sitting down, laying down in bed. This is a very popular one here for me. Oh, facepalm. So, that's the start of it, of this project here, of getting it going. Because now you actually have a character you walk around with. The next part would be setting up animations for drawing weapons, holding the weapons, or can just be for going directly into shooting. Or there's actually another asset pack that I would like to add in here, and that was from the Cinti Studios website, Bow and Arrow. And when you get that pack from them, it's free from their store, and you can get it. There's one texture, there's some FBX files. So what I'm going to do is, since they're FBX files and a texture, I'm going to go ahead and create a folder here in the assets, and I'm just going to temporarily put it in here. Call this bow, put it in, and I'm going to bring the texture in first, which is a PNG. So that's our texture. It's not a material, but I can right click on it, and actually I'm going to rename this bow text underscore 01. Actually, we want this to be T underscore bowtex. So now I'm going to right click on it and create material, and I'm going to get rid of where it says underscore matte, and instead of a capital T here, we're going to put an M underscore bowtex. So now we have the material for it. We'll try starting off with just dragging all of the FBX files in at one time, and I'm just going to import all. And okay, there's no smoothing group, don't care. Bind pose, don't care for right now. So that gave us our crossbow bolt, our bow, our arrows. I'm not going to keep the crossbow. So I can get the rigged crossbow, its physics, and skeleton. Same thing for its bolts. I'm not going to keep them. Yeah, it brought in its own stuff here too. I'm not going to keep that and that and that. Force delete. A bow material. Was there anything special about it? No. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And texture 01 because I don't like the generic names. And it's going to kill the materials that are on the bow right now. So if I go into it, there's no material, so I need to select that, and it was bowtex right there. Now it's not showing, but it will. It just needs to draw it. You have a nice native bow there with feathers on it. Lovely. Make sure it's saved. And then I'll go into rigged bow testing. So just an alternative bow here. Same thing. Bow texture and save. Arrow. Nice and neat. Save that one. So now that I know that they're all going to have the correct. There's bowtex right there. Materials that I want them to have on there with the names of it, how I want it to be. And that's that. Now, going to need animations for that. I've got some animations that are for archery that I have not tested. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder, and I'm going to call it anims. Now, I know that these are already set up for the UE4 mannequin skeleton. Don't know how good they are. Like I said, I've never used them, so I will take a look at them. Right there. I didn't make them. These were some that were gifted to me. Longbow and dynamic archer. Yep, I'm not sure about these. I got two sets of animations. Root animations and in-place animations. I'm going to try just dragging these in here. And I'm not going to be able to do them the way that I want to, so I'm going to have to do this a different way. Sorry, you won't be able to see what I'm doing at the moment. But you will see them appear here in just a moment. So now, we've got all these animations. And I'm not sure how well I'm going to like those. But got an aim space. I'll come back to that one. In place attack 2. It's kind of a fast animation. The hell is this one? Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that's supposed to be. Yeah, I'm not really impressed with any of these. But we'll hang on to this one right here for right now. So what I'll do is I'll do this, delete them, and just for giggles, I will retarget this one. Come on, delete. Grab that, duplicate and retarget. Okay, polygon skeleton, change the location. Character animations armed, okay. And gonna replace all of that with bow, fire, and let's see what this looks like. Not too bad. Not too bad. So the next thing to do is go into our mesh folder, wrong mesh folder, and go to our skeleton tree. I'm going to click on hand R, and I'm going to go ahead and add a socket, which is going to now have to come back over here, hit F2, and call this main underscore hand. And I'm going to go over here on, well, hand L, and I'm going to add a socket, and this is going to be F2 off hand. So main hand, let's do this real quick. We're going to use a specific animation, and we're going to use this as bow fire. We're going to pause the animation and bring it back to spot 1. No, that's not going to do any good. Alright, well, we'll do it with this one. We're going to go to the offhand, and I am going to add a preview asset. Now I can actually rotate it around. And try to get it in the right position here. I'm going to get it close. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time trying to get it perfect. She uncheck snapping so I can actually get it a little bit nicer. Move my positioning. Again, not going to be perfect, but it'll be close enough. close enough for beefalo work, which means pretty tacky. So, yeah, good enough. Now the trouble is whenever we go to hit play now, gonna have to figure out how to make the string work. Yeah, never done that before. So this will be something for me to tinker with. Again, this is something that's totally out of the norm for me. I've never used these before. I'm actually going to go to my player character, blueprint, player base, and viewport, mesh, and warrior mail. Now, what I'll do here is I'll go to mesh and go back here, go to, actually in my assets folder, I'm going to create a new folder called weapons. Now I'm going to do a lot of fidgeting back and forth on this getting set up, but I'm going to go ahead and do a new blueprint, actor, bow underscore test. Now with that, I'm going to go back to my bow folder. I'm going to use the rigged Native American. Now I go back to here, select skeleton mesh, and there it is. Compile and save. Now, don't know which way is going to be correct on the rotation, so I'm going to leave it alone for now. And this is just going to be good enough for me to get it in hand. This is something I'm going to do later. Short term, I'm going to just add this to the character, and I'm going to test the animation out just as a quick trigger. So with our mesh, I'm going to add a component, which is going to be a skeletal mesh. The name is already here, so I'm just going to put this as bow. The animation, we don't have an animation for it yet, or an animation class or anything of that nature, so I'm not going to worry about that. With the parent socket, click on that, go to offhand, compile and save, and now if we go in here with our character, we can see we got our bow in our hand, we can run around with it. It's not in the correct location, but again, not worried about it. Let's just get it functional for quick testing. Go to my event graph, I'm going to do keyboard 1, and we're just going to do a test animation system. Compile and save, go back to my animation for armed, right click on this, and I'm going to create animation montage, and that's close enough for government work. Whenever I play this animation, hit number 1, I want to montage, play animation montage. And the montage I want is, well, there's only one, so self is fine. Shouldn't need to, but I'm going to anyway. Play rate is 1, so we're going to try it like so. So now we hit the number 1 key. It should in fact play the animation montage. And it didn't. I'll do it the other way if I got to. Let's try. Don't like using this node, but it'll figure out which way works best. In skeletal mesh, well, let's just. Oh, because I'm being a dum-dum, something I got to do here is go into the animation blueprint for unarmed. Because if you're going to run an animation montage, then yeah, you have to make sure that you do this slot, default slot, throw that in there, and then reconnect that. Could do this a couple different ways. This is just quickie. See, that's what I say about the per bone blend, so that you can actually fire on the move. Alright, well that gets it going. You see what I'm saying about the lower half of the body? You'd want to go ahead and, some of the things that I want to do with this is do a per bone blend, get this to where the top half is doing the animation, the bottom half is still doing whatever the bottom half was doing before, and then at that point I'll try to figure out how to get the string to work, draw the arrow, fire a projectile, which will be the arrow, which essentially all you're going to end up doing is, when you're creating that, you're going to have blueprint class, actor, arrow. These are just temporary blueprints. I'm going to end up deleting these. I'm going to go back to here, go to my bow. Doesn't matter which arrow I use, but select an arrow, add component, do that, and actually I'm going to call this just arrow. Yeah, and I'm going to make that my default scene route. Then I'm going to add a projectile movement, because if you don't move that up, then your projectile movement is just not going to work correctly. It will, but it won't. So yeah, just do it. Initial speed, I'm going to keep this low, because I want to see it. I want to see it move. And then, technically speaking, at this point, we could put a delay in of a half second. I'm not trying to be perfect on this right now. This is just getting the point across. And this isn't the main stream setup for the night. I got a bunch more planned for the other main stream tonight. This is just kind of screwing around, getting a project set up to experiment with stuff mostly. Yeah, they can do spawn actor from class. And I guess, yes, shut up, I know. Let's add in a arrow component. And we're going to call that arrow spawn. Close enough. Yes, I know you don't have a spawn transform yet. Ugh. Actually, let's go ahead and drag that in here. Get world transform. Are you gonna be happy now that you've got a transform to work with? No, you're still not happy, because I have to select the class, which is you. You're happy now? Owner and instigator is self. And it's not what I want to do here. I want to do something else for the owner and instigator, but I'm just going to shove that in here for now. And that half-second delay is probably a little bit too soon. God, that's a powerful arrow, isn't it? Ugh. 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 It's like epic and shit. And it's not going the right direction, so. Yeah, I'm just so don't care about this project right now. I'm getting annoyed with, I know this is New Year's Eve and I'm worried about the noise from the fireworks. For now, let's go ahead and just raise that up. We'll do 2500 by 2500. We'll leave gravity in there, because arrows have gravity. And then I will actually, at some point, I'll fix the rotation of the arrow. But reason why it's coming out like that, arrow, it's getting the transform, but it's going in the right direction, but the arrow's coming out sideways. Let's see, which way is it coming out? The tip is on the right side. So tip is on the right side. So we need to, and shit, we can't do it yet. Do it because that is now my root. And it won't let me undo it. So I'm actually going to have to remake that arrow. And it's going to be unhappy. Yes, I know. Blueprint, actor, arrow, underscore BP. Add component. Again, come back to bow. Grab my arrow. I'm going to use this arrow this time. And add component. And add projectile movement. And I'm not going to make it the root just yet because I know that I'm going to have to probably change the orientation of the arrow because it was going out that way, so we need to rotate it around. Alright, we'll test it now, and then... God, I hate whenever you do that shit, it actually closes your friggin' blueprint down because you delete something. Are you happy now? And you even took my frickin' spawn transform away too? God, you suck. Why did it delete my friggin' arrow here? God damn UE4, you're being stupid tonight. Arrow spawn. I don't know why the hell it deleted that. Eat a dick. You're the one that frickin' got rid of it, not me. Get world transform. Are you happy now, you asshole? Really? Now we can actually go into our arrow, set up our projectile movement again, because we had no speed on it. All right, and it needs to be raised up. The arrow spawn. And we'll run it like that. So at least now it doesn't do any damage. Don't care. The whole point was getting it to spawn. So let's try our delay at 0.8. That's actually not bad, speed-wise. I'll see what I can come up with for the animation for the string and actually putting the arrow on, and there's a lot of crap that's involved in doing that. And of course the speed is a little off too. And if our arrow is actually flying true, then I think the next thing to do would be to adjust the gravity of it. Gravity, let's set this to 0.5 and see what that does. A little better. And if we go into this view, the way that it's firing here, it's actually still based off of a straight direction. So technically speaking, if I wanted to be a jackass, could also take this arrow spawn and attach it to the bow or to the mesh. Let's put it on the mesh. Keep that the same location. So if we now look right here, what's it doing? I'm actually turn the speed back down again so I can see where the hell it's going. Alright, so if I actually go into this view, look up, it's not going with the bow, it's actually still doing the same thing. So let's actually attach it. Screw it, let's attach the damn thing to the head for right now. And 0, 0, 0. And now where is the arrow is facing the wrong direction. And we'll uncheck real time. Oh, you're such an asshole. There. Alright, so it's still not right. Alright, whatever. Screw it. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start getting ready for this evening's actual streams. Got a few things planned. The main one is talking about the, I know it's going to be boring as hell, the New Year's resolutions and stuff. I will probably come back and never revisit this project again. Just wanted to screw around. Somebody was asking about the animation stuff, and I'm actually going to do another video where I'll probably start another fresh project that will be just dedicated towards trying to see what it takes, and I know I can do it, but do the Mixamo animations with Cinti Studios characters. I never have done that video. If you're not familiar with Mixamo, there's Mixamo characters and there's Mixamo animations. And originally there was Fuse CC, and it's such a broken thing that it's kind of hard to work with whenever it comes to UE4. There's a lot of other stuff you have to end up going through. But I will put together some Mixamo animations and get them to work with the Cinti Studios characters. And what the hell, I'll try it on the fly. But that project was just kind of screwing around, impromptu. If you have more direct questions on retargeting things, I've done a bunch of videos on retargeting the UE4 animations, but the next stream will probably be here in about 30 minutes or so, and I will actually talk about doing some Mixamo animations with Cinti characters. Alright guys, if you got any questions about that kind of stuff, let me know. Save them up, ask them during the stream, and we'll get to them as we get to them. Alright, thanks for watching. We'll see you in a little bit.